All right, everyone. Well, I see that it's already been streamed live. I'm going to resume the recording. So, well, it's live stream, so you can also find this at YouTube and LinkedIn. But you'll also get a mail from the DataMites team with the recording. Okay. All right, let's begin. Hello from every country. See a lot of people joining across the world. All right, so a simple question, or this webinar, this bootcamp is focused on a very simple question: which is a better choice? Is it data science or AI? So we will focus on that. Before we go there, let me just introduce myself. Right, so I'm just going to share my LinkedIn profile. Okay, seems a bit slow. DataMites team, I would request you to, just let me know if there is any internet issue. If I am not able to, I'm not audible, just let me know. Okay. I'm going to temporarily remove the chat access. Now, with a sketchbook, easy to draw. Okay, that's good. All right, so we'll start with my introduction. My name is Ashok Veda. I ping my LinkedIn profile. Feel free to contact me in LinkedIn for any related topics, related questions. I've been in the industry for 20 years. I worked in Netherlands, graduated in Netherlands with my master's in MBA from University of Amsterdam, and predominantly worked in Netherlands and Europe and UK. Started my first company in Netherlands in 2009, which is about 14 years. Time really flies, so I didn't realize that it's 14 years now. I've been into analytics for more than 15 years. So I work with many Fortune 100 companies, Shell, Philips, many other companies in analytics. So I worked in distribution logistic analytics. I worked in IoT, smart devices analytics. And the first startup I did is into sports analytics, right? Essentially showing the sports and player stats on the fly. And it's a very successful startup back in Netherlands. And then I started a company, Rubix, which is into AI and ML solution. In fact, 2016 is a transition where we are moving from analytics, data science towards like data science, machine learning, and AI. So Rubix is fully focused on delivering AI machine learning solutions. We are still a small, medium-sized company with about 100 and 150 employees. We deliver large-scale projects across the world for big clients. Apart from this, I'm also a coach for many companies. I work with many edtech companies. DataMites, been working with them for 5 years, and trained nearly 20,000 learners, both in data science and AI in past 7 years. Thousands of my students are working as data scientists and AI engineers across the world, which I'm always proud of. That's the first achievement I feel. And I'm also a researcher, a PhD scholar in the space of AI. I work in marketing. Recently, I started working in cybersecurity. So that's my overall. So essentially, if you want to summarize, I research, practice, teach, and deliver data science and AI solution. I think I'm the perfect person to speak about which area is potential and what are the different dimensions of it. Okay. Very well. Good. So let's jump into it. So we will essentially look at what is data science and what is machine learning, what is AI, and we'll talk about how is it become really most coveted jobs in the market as of now. And we'll then talk about the prerequisites and better approach. This is my profile. I already have, you already have my LinkedIn. So, so let's start with data science first. Oh, that's interesting. I don't see the chart window in the presentation. Yeah, now I see. Very good. Throughout the presentation, if you have any questions, I request you to put it in the Q&A section. I'll pick it up. At the end of the session, we have at least 15 minutes to answer most of the Q&A questions. If it is something related to the topic we are discussing, you can just put it over there in the chat box. I cannot guarantee I see all the time the chat box, but if something relevant, I'll pick it from there. Okay. All right. All right. So let's start with what is data science. I'm pretty sure you would have read tons of articles, which is specifically on data science. What is data science? In fact, the term itself become more democratic, or it become more business from 2015, 16. So it's nearly 7 to 8 years. We know that data science is a huge potential, and almost all the companies in all the large companies, even the small and medium-sized companies, have their own data scientists, data science teams working towards their own company goals, right? So it's not a new word anymore. But let me put it in a simple terminology for you to understand. I would say data science is an evolution from data analytics. Essentially, I would say it is from statistics. Statistics itself is a very old field. So most of the statistical theorems, including Bayes' theorem, Thomas Bayes, 17th century, I think 18th century, so 1763. So statistics is a field which has been for centuries, right? Not just computers, even before electricity, before the digital world. So it's a very old field. And the goal of statistics is to convert the data into meaningful form. I would say summarize it and make it more useful. Simple terms, right? I want to know what is the sales of a business last quarter, right? What you're doing, you're basically summing up all the numbers, and that's a part of your statistics. Simple math as well. All right. So we look into many other things in statistics in terms of correlation of the data, this and that. The statistics is an area which essentially deals with the data and make it useful for business or for any analysis. Okay, I'm pretty sure this is a common knowledge, right? What happened with the data science is that along with statistics, there are other fields being added. For example, I won't really say computer science, I would say rather programming, big data, plus most important, machine learning, this one, ML. We'll talk about ML. ML is a predictive algorithm, learning algorithms, which can learn from the data and give you the prediction about it, right? We'll talk about it very quickly. But this area, there's a second block, which is more a technology block. I would rather call it as technology than computer science. Computer science, yeah, it's anyway umbrella term. But more the technology part, where you can use programming languages like Python, technologies like big data, tools or technologies, platforms like machine learning algorithms, which can analyze the data in a much efficient manner. And it can also do a predictive analytics. It can learn from the data, which is amazing. So I would say this is the part which really made data science stand out. Data science as a field, right? It's pursued as one of the best career paths. Most of the companies are really bullish about adapting data science and using data science for their business benefits, right? That's because of this second area, right? Where you can literally analyze any kind of data, not just the simple tabular data where you have rows and columns, right? You can also analyze free text, images, videos, any form of data, right? Anything which is generated by the business in any form can be analyzed. That's because we use technologies like big data, machine learning, and use programming for handling many things in an efficient manner. And the third one, which is subject matter expertise. We sometimes call it also simply a domain knowledge. So what is the domain knowledge? Well, let's say you're building a model for fraud analytics, fraud analytics. Pardon my accent. So I write it down over here. Fraud analytics. All right. So it's a very simple concept where you need to develop a model which essentially, you know, looks at transaction, any financial transaction, and categorize it as, is it a fraud? Yes or no. If it is not a fraud, then it will probably go ahead and execute it. If it's a fraud, then you basically, if it's detected as a fraud, then you manually interpret it, block it, or hold it for some time. Someone might call you to check whether it's a genuine transaction, and then it goes through. By implementing this fraud analytics, you can bring down the fraud transaction to a significantly lower levels. Okay. But when you are asked to do the fraud analytics, right, this algorithm, right, let me tell you, this is already used significantly by big banks like JP Morgan Chase. Many banks in US and Europe. Europe is lagging, but US, most of the banks have pretty much adapted data science machine learning models in fraud analytics. Okay. To do this model, well, you might be an expert in data science, expert in machine learning and technology and all the stuff, but you need people who understands how the fraud is actually made, right? You need a people with at least, you know, I don't know, 15, 20 years of experience, researchers, PhDs, who specifically expertise on fraud transactions, right? Because that knowledge is really required for you to build this model. We call those folks who are experts in that particular area as a subject matter experts, right? Or domain knowledge experts, right? We need them in our project. Typically, we don't expect this knowledge from a data scientist because data scientists are data scientists, right? So they're not really experts in any subject as such. So if it's a healthcare, we are looking for a doctors or researchers in the medical field, right? If it is a finance related things, we're looking for experts in certain areas. If it's farming, right? Farming, you know, agriculture, you need experts in this agricultural field, right? Those people are called as subject matter experts, or simply the domain is called as domain knowledge. All three together is what makes data science. Okay. Data science is a combination of three major fields. One is, of course, maths and stats, which is a traditional way we do the analysis of the data. Second is your technology, which is programming, big data, machine learning, and related. And third one is subject matter expertise, which is essentially a industry knowledge, the experts from the industry. And if you're doing a certain model, which is an industry-related model, you need a person from that area to contribute that knowledge. And together is what we call it as data science. So data science is a combination of, it's a multidisciplinary field with the goal of finding insights from the data so that we can do a data-driven decisions. Are we good? I know this knowledge is everywhere in the internet. I'm not the one talking about it, but I just want to set the platform straight. So are we good with what is data science now? All right, wonderful. Great. Let's move on. There is a demo about data science. I'm not going to do it. You can find this many other places. I'm going to move on to what is AI, right? This is a very, this area is really, there is, of course, a lot of content in the internet, but it's not very clear what is artificial intelligence. And given the ChatGPT disruption, generative AI, passive generative AI in designing, and many things coming in, GANs, generative adversarial networks, deepfakes, all of these are applications of it, right? So AI has become so popular because any solution coming from AI, it looks like a magic, right? It's affecting fields, industries significantly, right? And it's really, really happening really fast. Even for the experts who are researchers in this area, aren't able to really gauge the impact of AI having in the it's going to have in a humanity in general, right? So what is AI? Very good question. So I would like to summarize it, right, in a simple words, because this webinar, I really wanted to keep things simple, right? Of course, I can give you, I'm a researcher in AI. I can give you a very elaborate areas of AI, but my goal is to keep it simple. So I would say AI is kind of it's this artificial intelligence. So you can compare with the human intelligence. Right? We as a humans are intelligent, right? How are you saying it? There are certain things we do which can be considered as smart, right? So you can see, you can analyze things better, you can touch, you can sense things, you make decisions, you have a great language. Language is one of the things which made us more smarter because we can communicate and enhance our mutual skills. Right? In a similar manner, is have a lot of, it's not just only brain. Brain is your processing unit, right? But it's all the lot of senses you have, which makes you smart, okay? And if you look from an AI perspective, I can kind of like map it very similar. Computer vision, very much like your eyes and vision. Natural language processing is like what your speech. Machine learning is what you actually learn from your experience, right? Most of the time in your human life, you go to school, you go to college, you go to academic institution to learn, right? And also not just from there, you learn from your real life experience as well, right? And whatever you learn makes you a better person, a smarter person. Accordingly, you pursue or you contribute to a better decision making and stuff, right? So ML is very similar to what is our learning process itself. ML can learn from the data. You feed data to it, it can learn, right? And it can help you in predictions. Right? It's our learning part itself. ML has an extension, what we call it as deep learning. Deep learning is an extension of machine learning, all right, which uses deeper neural networks. You have multiple hidden layers, and it can do more complex things. It can actually digest more complex, large size data. It can deal with them, right? We also have a simple ML models. We call it as classic machine learning models, random forest, whatever it is, SVM, support vector machine, naive-based algorithm, KNNs and stuff, which is simple models, mathematical models. Deep learning is a more advanced level of machine learning using deeper network. Your computer vision and natural language processing are an application of deep learning. So both of these, computer vision uses CNN, which is convolutional neural network, and all the variations of it. This uses RNN and all the variations of it. And there is also language models, BERT models, many other things, right? All of these are predominantly dependent on your deep learning. Deep learning is a basis for both computer vision and natural language processing. When it comes to decision making, there are multiple things. In the olden days, like we still use it, not just olden days, fuzzy logic. You might be knowing this. We also have many other different things, like we use Markov decision making principles, Markov decision making framework. We also use deep learning and other things for reinforcement learning for making decisions. This is a completely different system. Apologies. So this is a completely different area, right? It can compare with your own decision-making things. And there is one other one, which is robotics, which deals with moving robots. Okay. So if you can, as you can see, AI is more like an umbrella term, right? AI is not, it's a combination of different fields. All of this you see comes under artificial intelligence, including machine learning. Someone is asking, can you compare machine learning? Yeah. AI is an umbrella term, right? Like human intelligence, we have so many different smart things happening. All our sensors are decision making and learning capabilities. In a similar way, AI can be perceived as an umbrella term, and there are many areas within AI. The core area is, of course, machine learning. So as for the humans, right? And then there is a specifications or specializations in it. Computer vision, natural language processing, decision making, robotics. There are other things we can call something reinforcement learnings and regenerative learnings and stuff like that. These are the base things. So I think most of the questions are answered in this. AI is actually an umbrella term which consists of many different fields, including machine learning. So machine learning is ideally a subset of artificial intelligence. But you do see in a lot of blogs and wherever you see things, right? They talk about ML or AI or ML. AI or ML is not really logical because ML ideally is a part of AI, right? You'll also see something like AI and ML as if they are two different things. You'll also see AI ML, like is it a combined field, right? That's okay. I mean, the reason I'm saying it's okay, ML is still a core part of AI, right? Everything is mostly depend on your machine learning, right? Directly, indirectly, the derived versions of machine learning. So significant part of ML is actually AI is ML. So you can use it interchangeably. That's not a problem, right? But ideally speaking, ML is a area within artificial intelligence, academically as well. Is that clear? I know there's a lot of question coming up, AI taking take over humans. I'll take all of this question at the end. I have my own opinion. A lot of people have opinions nowadays. All right. So we'll talk about it at the end of the session. Okay, wonderful. All right. So there is another question coming in, which is not in the slide. I will try to answer it by using this. So how is data science and machine learning related? I think I have already explained it. Data science is again a combination of fields, right? It has a lot of things. It has stats. It has programming and Python and all the stuff. It also has machine learning. I would say ML is a toolkit. ML is a tool for data science. We're using machine learning as a tool. We also have simple tools like, let's say, MS Excel, which is a simple spreadsheet. It's powerful if you have a limited data. Many things can be done in Excel. Excel can be also used for predictive analytics, visualizations. Many things can be done in Excel, given the data is simple, spreadsheet, tabular data, and the volume is also, it's not too huge. Excel can handle it. Excel is a tool, which mostly we use it for descriptive analytics. Descriptive analytics is just looking at the data, but we can also use it for analytics. In a similar manner, ML is also a tool for data science, okay? So it's just a tool for data science. It doesn't belong to data science. ML belongs to your AI. So it will be a part of AI, okay? All right, good. So I think we are good at this point. There are a bunch of applications in this slide, which I'll go through very high level. This is a very old application where AI algorithms can detect the heart attacks, much like 10 years before, so you can easily manage it. We can use it in law and order. We can use it in retail, Amazon. I think most of the use cases in retail is based on machine learning, from warehouse management to website to recommendation to reviews management. Everything is machine learning driven. We have ocean of applications, and I don't have to talk about it, right? Because you see every day in your LinkedIn, even I'm posting on a daily basis, you see AI has been used, ML and AI has been used everywhere in every industry in a very creative manner. Last week, I posted one on LinkedIn about last week or a few days ago, which is about using AI for controlling mosquitoes. And this company is under my mentorship through NASSCOM. It's an amazing use case. They are doing good, and I'm expecting this to be in the production version very soon. So there is no limit for as such. So AI can be used for a wide variety of applications, and you'll see that most places AI applications will come through. I'm not really going into individual. So let's focus on the core topic of today's session, which is a better choice. Is it data science or AI? Okay. So I'm going to keep the chat box calm for some time. I'll release it again. Right. Thank you. All right. So I'm not going to give any philosophical high-level statement about the career, right? But I do like to tell this career circle, which I think is relevant. Most people, it's a very common framework. So career decision should be made on 3 different circles. These are 3 important things. One is, of course, your interest, capability, and money. All right. If you look at most people, this becomes really important for them because, other things will follow is what they assume. But I would say all these 3 things are really important. If you're not interested, you have capability and you went for money, at some point of time, you feel really not happy with your career, right? You see people suddenly taking up creative roles. They become singers, dancers in the middle of their career. They've been in IT for 10, 15 years. They suddenly change the career to something which most people cannot understand, right? That because the interest is missing over there. The initial first 5, 10 years, you don't feel it, but it will eventually kick in at some point of time. We call it as mid-career crisis, right? So if you have interest and money, you don't have capability. It's again a problem because you have to really struggle in your work. You have to work extra hours. You have to depend on your colleagues. It's not a nice scenario. If you have an interest and capability, no money, it's no good because you have to ultimately pay your bills and you will not be seen as a successful person if you're not earning enough, right? So all these three things are important. You have to find somewhere which is all, kind of like intersecting, right? The reason I pulled up this career cycle, like career dation circle, is that both data science and machine learning or AI has all of these components, right? AI is a very interesting field. I've been working as a solution provider for many Fortune 100 companies. I always see a really happy face of my clients at the end of the projects because they see something working is magical, right? And every project is like solving a puzzle. So the first-hand experience, I can tell you, AI projects are very interesting. Well, I do hate the data part at the beginning of the projects, which is nearly 50% of your work, getting the data in place and cleaning it and all, but then it's really interesting job. Same with data science, right? Capabilities. We will quickly come there. A lot of people asking, can I actually learn this? Is it like it's difficult, right? One most important thing, both AI data science, like relatively data science takes about 8 months to learn from scratch, right? AI takes about 1 year, but it's worth investing. And it doesn't really have a great way to switch. If you have a bit of programming knowledge, bit of data or mathematics background, it helps. But most people can learn it because both of these fields are applied fields. So capability can be built, all right? And then, of course, I don't have to tell you, one of the reasons we have nearly 500 people on the call is because this is the one which really pays highest money in the market, okay? So from this circle, I can tell you both data science and AI is a very interesting field for most of the people, okay? So generally, most of the people who are oriented towards, who want to pursue it, can build capabilities. It's an interesting job. You won't get bored out of it. And it is the one which is paying highest money in the market. So they are, in general, a very good choices, okay? And both careers offer high salaries, interesting works, global opportunities. And I must insist, nowadays everyone is worried about AI taking over jobs. I can assure you, AI, data science, these jobs are relatively future-proof. At least for next 2 decades, I don't think some of the works we do in AI projects cannot be automated. And maybe I can schedule another complete webinar to Bootcamp to show that humans cannot be replaced by AI on certain parts. It's not possible, right? Especially when you talk about a project, factors affecting features and stuff like that. It's really difficult to think AI can do that. It's not that easy. So, well, AI can obviously reduce the number of jobs. If there is 10 people needed to do a job without this chat GPT and all this advanced AI things coming in, it might come down to 6 to 7. Yes, there is some 20-25% reduction of the number of jobs, but the increase in number of jobs is far ahead of it. There's about 60 to 70% year-on-year rise. Even with this impact, we are healthy around 30-40% growth year-on-year for next 5 years. So the number of opportunities and the career future-proof career is assured for both data science and AI. So both are interesting jobs, both are future-proof. So which is a better career choice? Well, these are the numbers which talks about so many million jobs are coming in. You can find these numbers in World Economic Forums, Forbes, many articles are published. I'm not going to talk about these numbers, right? This is about how to learn, right? But let me just take one step back. Maybe I'll take a white sheet. Right. This is the crux of his webinar, right? Both AI and data science, both are amazing. Right. I should have had a slide, but that's okay. I'm going to just write it down over here. AI is more technical. Means, how do you write it? Technical. So means you need to be a good programmer. You should be a better programmer when you want to become an AI engineer, because you need to write a lot many things to take care of it, right? So you need to be a good programmer, and you should also be writing a systematic codes when you're generating an AI related methods, right? For data science, you don't have to be great. Essential programming is enough. Mostly Python. Okay. With the help of this ChatGPT and new technologies, even that is kind of taken care. So you can literally ask an algorithm to write a code for classification, right? It writes. I mean, it's really straightforward and easy. AI takes more learning curve. I would say it's a learning curve is little steep. Okay, it's difficult. In simple words, it is difficult. So when compared to, it's relatively easy. When it comes to duration, from my experience, I trained, as I said, nearly 20,000 aspirants in AI full-time courses. Right. So what I see, it takes about 1 year plus to effectively learn and transition to the career center. Right. It takes about 6 to 8 months. I'm assuming no prior knowledge of either statistics or programming in both the cases. Okay. When it comes to salary, of course, AI folks are paid a little higher when compared to data science salaries. So I would say a fresher in data science from a US perspective can actually get about 70 to 80K, right? To start with, and a senior can, I mean, there is no limit for it. There are people who are even earning 400 to 500K per annum as a USD, right? Data science starts somewhere around 60 to 65K, which is also a significantly higher salary when you compare to 40 to 50K for a typical IT engineer. So the salaries for both are higher, but of course, AI engineers are paid a little higher when compared to data scientists, okay? And rest of things are already told. Both are future-proof, right? And both are interesting. So I'm not writing down the common factors. If you look at this, I would simply say in one way, AI is tougher to learn. It's paid higher. It's a challenging job. It's relatively challenging. So I would say when compared to that, it's relatively challenging. I can also say relatively interesting, right? Because it is interesting, right? When compared to a typical data science project, right? It is more applied level. Data science is more applied level. So I would say a person without a technical background, coming from, let's say, a mechanical or civil background or arts or whatever it is, can become data scientists relatively easy. In fact, more than 50% of the data scientists, new data scientists, are coming from non-data, non-programming, non-technical backgrounds, right? But that's not the same for AI. AI requires a little bit of technical knowledge. If you don't have prior, you just have to work a little harder and then gain it. I can also say AI can be used as a tool for data science, but typically machine learning is a tool for data science. We use classic models, not the deeper neural network models in data science. Okay, so from my experience, from my knowledge, both from the industry and from training thousands of folks, this is what I can see that the difference between AI and data science. Okay. All right, so which is a better choice? All right, so it really depends, right? So you can already see I have put the things flat before you. Which is a better choice? It really depends on what you want to achieve, right? I'll take questions, and maybe there are specific questions which is related to that, and I can answer it for the specific person related to that, related to the comparing this to. Let me see if I have anything else here. No, the best approach to learn is really straightforward, right? learning is first important thing. So I would say structured course is really important. I should also tell you, the knowledge of learning both data science and AI, it's already there in your internet. If one wants to learn either data science or AI by themselves, they can. There are a bunch of free courses and loads of content by which people can learn either data science or AI by themselves. But if you want to learn faster, because this is really a chaos, people get lost as well easily. And the structure way of taking, and if you have stuck somewhere, figuring out how it works takes a huge amount of time. It takes a little, not little, significantly more time. But when you take a structured learning course and with the live mentors, lot of roadblocks are taken care for. So answering your problems and also structured learning. You study this first, and then this, and then this. There is a methodology, and then most of the institutes also tied up with the companies to provide DataMites. DataMites is one of them. Currently representing DataMites. So DataMites have tied up with the internship companies, AI companies, where you do a real world project and do a lot of projects. Then you apply for the job, right? As I said, for data science, this is about 6 to 8 months. For AI, it's about 1 year to 1 year roughly. Okay, all of this includes the first 3 steps, and that's the best learning approach. Never try to get into a job after learning, because learning is just one part of it. Most of the time, AI and data science, you really need to work on projects and the real projects. That you'll be ready for the jobs. Of course, there are other jobs which provides junior folks, but there are less. So if you want to really get into a good job in a good company, you have to learn, do internships and projects, then you apply for the job. And that's the methodology works for most of the people who are trying to get into the AI or data science career. Okay. Yeah, that's it. And there are some questions. All right, good. I'll try to put this as this one. That is all. So then I go for the questions. I already have about 70 questions, thanks to DataMites team. Answered about 35 already. I'll take the rest. And if you have any further questions, if I've missed any questions from your chat box, I request you to post it back. And of course, all of you attended here or in the LinkedIn or any channels will be given a participation certificate. It will be in your inbox registration within 24 hours. If not, feel free to drop a mail to care@datamites.com. People who are not in this Zoom call, I'll write it down over here. It is simply care@datamites.com. This is a P. Okay, so you can drop a mail, and there is a support team who can help you with all of this. Okay, so let's get to our questions now. Right, let's take from this Q&A and DataMites team. So you could actually take the questions from LinkedIn or YouTube or Facebook, wherever this has been streamed, and put it back into the chat box so that I can pick it up from there. Okay. All right. So I'll start with the questions which is in your Zoom Q&A section now. I have the first question from Emmanuel. The question is, according to you, what is the importance of AI and ML if men are missing jobs because of the inventions? Yeah, it is a philosophical question. It's the same question I would like to ask from myself. Sorry, not myself, in general. When computers were invented, this is a very similar phenomenon. Well, things are happening a little faster now, but when computers were first invented, there are loads of people working in banks and many other places, clerks, data people, keeping the registries and stuff, right? Computer can actually, cut off all those jobs, right? When 10 people are working, one computer operator can do that. This happened in 1980s, 1985s, right? So at the end, if you see, the number of jobs have increased, not decreased. Well, there is a momentary dip because the people who are doing manual ledger keeping and clerical work have to learn computer, right? They have to learn typing the data entry, or keeping records in computer using some basic software at the time, right? But they eventually got rehired with a different skill set. Same thing will happen here. So I don't think the jobs will be just gone. There'll be a different kinds of jobs coming to the market, which needs a different kinds of skills. And especially you need to upgrade your skills towards data science and AI and ML to get rehired. So the period where you're learning is what is challenging. So this is where you should be careful to adapt to the market faster. If you're not fast enough, agile enough to adapt your skills, then yes, you might have to face certain hardships. And that is something no one can prevent it. It is neither in anyone's hands, or any governments can do anything. It's a natural evolution. Technology cannot be stopped. So the only way you can get, you can be less impacted is by acquiring skills as quick as possible. Adapt to the changing market needs. I have a question from Deepak saying, can I be an AI engineer from BSc Statistics? Yes, absolutely. You're a statistics student, so answer is yes. I have a question from Kiwuwa. What's the difference between data science and big data? As I said, big data is a tool for data science. The purpose of big data is to store, analyze, process big data. Big data is essentially a data which cannot be processed easily by a single system, right? We have Hadoop, we have Spark, we have many big data technologies. All of these are tools for data science. If you're handling a data which is a big data, then you need big data technologies, right, for doing data science things. There is also a field called as big data science. Essentially, that field deals with data science models for big data. All right, so I have a question from anonymous attendee. Can we go ahead in data science without econometrics knowledge? Yes, answer is yes. And it's not just yes from a third person, yes from a, I would say a lot of my students don't have this background. Hundreds of them. They are successful data scientists now. So I can say yes with confidence. What is the recommended textbooks to learn data science and AI? Oh, okay. So I would say, please drop a message, because there are a bunch of textbooks, not just one. If you want to connect to me, you can follow me, right? And if you really want to connect to me, feel free. Okay. If you want to communicate to me, you need to connect, or you should have a premium account, I guess, in LinkedIn. Feel free to send a connect request. And then, yeah, and then you can, I can help you with the books. Okay. Oh, okay. So I did not put my name there. My name is Ashok Veda. It's there in your LinkedIn also. All right. Cool. I have a question from Cynthia. The question is, what is the recommended textbook? Okay, that's, I think it's up. Sorry. I just answered that. Adnan has a question. So which basic skills do I need to be data analysis analyst, I would say? Tell me briefly. Okay, so basic skills are data skills, statistics, and tools. If you want to be data analyst, you should be good at Excel and some business intelligence tools like Tableau or Power BI, and a very strong data and statistics skills. Okay. A question from Tahir. Absolute beginner here, no knowledge of programming and tech. Where to start? So I would say, I would say enroll a good course. Enroll the course. Right. There are affordable courses for DataMites, and also there are scholarships, sometimes even full scholarships. I would say, please reach out to datamites.com and discuss your requirement. Being said, I'll also say there's a lot of free tutorials outside for you to learn. I even collated myself some of them. I can share it to you. But a structured learning will really cut through your learning skills. You can actually become a good data scientist in 6 to 8 months, and your 1 month salary will be higher than what you're paying as a course. So it's a good return on investment. Question from Rafula. Where is data science needed? Everywhere, Rafula. The answer is simply everywhere. For all kinds of data analysis within the organization, for any business, right? You want to launch a product, expand something, analyze your previous performance, competitive analysis, anything in the world which has data, in fact, anything in the world has data. Okay? So data science is everywhere. A question from Saroj. How do we categorize the machine learning to deep learning? I think I answered this. Deep learning is an extension of machine learning. We use deeper neural networks with many hidden layers. So it's more complex networks. It can learn from a large amount of complex data. And machine learning also has a classic models, right? You have linear regression, logistic regression, random forest, naive Bayes, support vector machine, KNN, XGBoost, whatever it is, right? Even clustering algorithms of K-means clustering and stuff. These are all called as classic algorithms, which can be used for most of the purposes, right? And the deeper network can be called as deep learning. So deep learning is an extension of machine learning. I have a question from Titus. Is data scientist the same as data analyst? Good question. Data scientists use machine learning. Data analysts use classic statistical models and tools. That being said, the goal and the work is more or less same, right? But data scientists deal with more complex projects using machine learning and technology. That's the difference. Amrish has a question. So what's the difference between ML and human experience learning? I have one second. ML and human experience learning in terms of storage requirements. I have less idea, Amrish, to be honest. I would say, please ask this question again in LinkedIn. Let me do a bit of search and then I'll answer you, okay? I have a question from Arnaud Hart. Is it possible for AI to take over our careers? Answer is yes and no. Some jobs will be definitely taken over by AI. I can show you, right? You can actually see. In early days, if I want to write a code for classification, I need to really start from the scratch. Right? Nowadays, I can ask ChatGPT to say, hey, write what do you want to write? So I can say, write a classification model for breast cancer data set with random forest, which is one of the classic random forest, which are one of the classic algorithms using fine tuning with grid search or anything. You can just do with fine tuning. All right, that's it. And you see, it starts with a Python code. It imports everything. You can see random forest being it's done very fast. Random forest been included. Grid search has been taken. It has read the standard data set. Breast cancer data set is the standard one from this location. So you have to provide this, and then it has basically done all the coding for you. And it is error proof and it's perfect. All right. So to come back to your question, will AI take away some jobs? Definitely yes. It's in a two different dimensions. One, it's gonna make your job more easy. So less number of people are required. So some jobs will disappear by naturally. And there's also a lot of other things. For example, all the support, BPO, and related jobs are in a huge, I would say, survival thing. So because this can be easily done by AI more effectively, round the clock with almost a fraction of the cost. These jobs will definitely disappear. Okay. So what is this guy's going to do? So I can only imagine. So they can actually learn data skills and then work on the data engineering, data processing part, which is going to be huge work. And these jobs cannot be taken by AI. So reskilling is required. So to simply answer your question, it will not take over your careers. Well, of course, certain jobs will disappear. Certain industries and fields have lesser requirements because you can be more productive. But overall, I am fairly positive that it is not a huge threat. It requires a bit of reskilling, updating yourself. But I think we should be fine. It's my own opinion, right? Joshua has a question. How do you become a data scientist or AI professional? So as I said, it takes quite some learning. And someone asked me how much time I have to spend. I must say, I should say, roughly it takes about 20 hours a week learning. Even if you're working, you could squeeze this time, right? And about 8 months for data science, 1 year for AI. try to opt for a structured learning so that you can actually achieve this milestone of structured learning. And yes, anyone can become, because both are applied fields. My network is not helping me kindly. Okay, so okay, fine. I think DataMites will take care of that. The question, oh, I still have 50 questions. I'm not sure I can answer all those questions, but I'll do my best. I'll take questions which are important. Question from Ja. This question is asked on ChatGPT, okay, which is my favorite topic as well. Does learning process of ChatGPT and AI model resemble human learning process? Yes, it is. Right? It's basically mimicked from human learning. If you look at the decoder encoder network, is way we remember. Can give you a lot of examples. My favorite topic. I'm a researcher in AI. So if you really look at your own learning, right? So let's say you have, let's say a person who worked hard in their school days, your academic period, right? Doing all the assignments, be very diligent, reading regularly, right? Same person will also be mostly diligent in the professional work, in a career, diligently working. I'm not going to say whether he's more successful or not. That all depends on many factors. But the diligence you see, right? So what I'm trying to say is that when you're diligent, hardworking, right, there are certain latent things you learn, right? You might not remember the subject you have actually learned. You might have learned science, mathematics, or whatever it is. But the crux of it, the way you actually study, you actually capture it, called as latent information, right? And this is passed on to new things you do. Whatever you do have the similar discipline and other things. I can even summarize this is same as your decoder encoder networks, where you capture the latent features and then you use it to more generalized things, right? Even the transfer learning comes from there. So to answer your question, I'm pretty sure whatever I said makes no sense for many people over here. But yes, most of the things are actually taken from the human learning process. That is true. I have a question from Ali. Where can we learn prior knowledge preparing? All right, so internet is your friend. So you search for it, you find a lot of basic books free to start with. And then you can, at some level, you can start taking a structured learning methods. Vaishali has a question, data science career, freshers can hire. I see everywhere in tech experience. No, that's not true, Vaishali, because my own students, many of them are freshers, transition into data science careers. It's not true. So 50% of the jobs which is open out there are for freshers. If someone says otherwise, please don't believe it. It should be a myth, because I have first-hand experience saying and looking at it. Even I hire for my project, out of 5 folks for a project, at least 1 or 2 are freshers. All right. I have anonymous attendee asking question. Freshers can apply. Yes, of course. I already answered that. A better choice to do specializations in if you're doing engineering, you can do computer or any related to computer technology, information technology. That is good. But you don't have to wait till your engineering is complete. It's 4 years, I assume, sometimes 5 years, right? You can start learning data science AI during your engineering, because when you come out, the world will be already flooded with these folks, right? You cannot start learning at that point of time. You become then laggard. So I would say, during your engineering, start doing projects, start learning data science AI as if you're going to work for a project in the real world, right? That will help you once you finish your graduation. You can directly jump into the jobs, not wasting any more time, okay? A question from Bipin, a difference between ML engineer and data engineer. Yeah, well, it's quite simple. Data engineer works at the starting part of your ML project or data science project, right? Their work is to gather the data, clean the data, build data pipelines, maintain data pipelines. So they are very good. They should be very good in database management. It could be SQL, it could be MongoDB, Cassandra, or even blob storage, big data, whatever it is, right? Data lakes. So they should be really good at all the data storage technologies as well as the ETL technologies, which is extract, transform, and load, right? So all the technical stack related, they should be strong. I must tell you that data engineering is much more technical when compared to data science. Data science, you need not to be very technical. For data engineer, you need to be very technical. Okay. So what does data science do? Data science engineer or ML engineer, they create the models based on the data, predictive models. Okay. All right. So I see that I have answered about 80 questions and we still have 50. So I don't think I can answer all the questions. What I would request is to put the same question back to me on LinkedIn, right? Or you can even send it to DataMites team. I will be answering them, one to one. I'll answer all the questions offline. Okay. All right. There's 50 questions. Some questions. Okay, so I'll give some generic answers. Whichever background you are, whichever profile you are, because most questions are that you are eligible for data science or AI career. No company will ask, because I work for many companies, many of the Fortune 500 companies, even as a recruiter. I set up center of excellence teams for them. So I can tell you from my first-hand experience, we are not looking at your academics, right? Any degree is fine. What we look at is your skills and relevant projects you have done. To prove your skills, you have applied skills. That's all. So all the questions which is asking about your background and IT and other things, please take it as a yes. Most of you, or I would say all of you, are eligible for it. What you need to do is to learn proper skills in the right methodology and then apply it in many different projects, do some internships, and then you can directly jump into the careers. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. I'm pretty happy that I have a lot of people asking so many questions. I love to answer all the questions, just that the time is not permitted here. But apart from that, I'm always happy to help you on my LinkedIn channel. So feel free to drop a message on LinkedIn. You can just type in Ashok Veda. It's a very unique name. So you should be able to find my LinkedIn. Connect with me. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, DataMites, for this opportunity to speak to so large the group of people, interested aspirants. All right. Thank you. Have a good day.